what it do? Welcome back to another episode of After Five the Podcast. It's your man's Lord Shu. Today we are having a special guest on our channel. We are doing a, good interview. I want to say what's up to my man's Ali in the cut.
What up? What up?
What's going on, fam? How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Getting ready for the weekend. And
Yes,
excited to hear
sir.
about this guest we got.
Yeah, for real.
A story.
So we got basically another polymath for y'all, someone who has many hats. But not only that, they are a small business owner of Third Eye Entertainment. We have Different. Welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, different is her name. Different and different is her name. But first of all, I want to know, how did that name come about?
An identity crisis. I don't know. Well, first of all, shout out to everybody out there listening and watching. Yes, my name is Different, spelled Difenrt. Big shout out to Ali and Lord Shu for having the After Five podcast. Happy to be here and share my story and inspire you guys and have fun with your boys. But yeah, answer your question. I guess it, like a little identity crisis. Everybody goes to that stage of like, who am I? What does this mean to me? And but my name, my government name, which I don't like to share because I like privacy. I was one of those that'd be up to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning Googling my name and still couldn't come up with it. And so just after thinking about it, it was like, after what I'd been through and people of, my caliber and people of my generation didn't think like how I think. And not to say that I'm better than above anybody. I just realized, I'm different from all the rest in sorts. Like, I'm everybody says I'm cut from a different cloth, and that may be true. But for when I say different for me, um, it's not a vanity, it's a humility. It means to be different from who you were than in your past. I made a lot of mistakes and wasn't, I'm not saying like a bad person in the past, but I'm better than I was before. And so that for me, when I say different, I'm different from who I was in my past. I'm a better person. So that's what it means now.
Oh, that's good. That's different.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's dope. Yeah, I like that. So I know as we exchange your emails, you said that you hope that you can come on here and talk about your travels. But first I just want to talk a little bit about mental health. You say you advocate for mental health. So you seem like you have a positive attitude, good personality. Like how did you what's your journey in mental health to get to that point?
You have to now. Lord, you don't let this little cute little face fool you. Now I got a dark side, and I ain't afraid to show it now. But no,
Let's go.
I guess it's just the
Show
Sagittarius in
it.
me. We always just looking on, the silver lining in the sky. But just I always had that mindset. I'm never gonna let nobody take what they didn't give me, and that's my joy. And I've been to that point in my life to where I used to let people's thoughts and opinions about me dictate my life. That was in my early 20s. I'm 32 now. And so I'm in a different book 3, volume 2. And it's all about, self-love and loving others and uplifting others. I realized, I can help myself by helping others. When I help others, it comes back to me tenfold. And so putting positive energy out there into the universe, it'll come back to you. I'm a firm believer in what you put out comes back to you. And so as well as there's power in the tongue. So what you speak out into your mouth comes into existence. So I'm very careful and meticulous on what I say or what I let come out my mouth. And I always just chose to let words of beauty and positive affirmations come out my mouth. Even if I don't feel it in that time frame, just still. If I always say, if you can't be positive, then be quiet. Don't speak on anything negative. It's all right to be real about what you're going through, but just don't be negative about it because there's power in the tongue. And I live by the mantra manifest, plan, prepare, and I'll explain that later on. That's my motto with Third Eye Entertainment, and so that is just a part of who I am. I've always I won't say like I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church, but I do believe in God, and I'm more so a spiritual person. So that's part of that as well. Just being positive, and don't get it twisted. Everything ain't always sweet with me. I go through trials and tribulations just like everybody else, but I choose. It's a choice. You have to just remember it's a choice. You can choose to be happy in the good and the bad times and just live your life no matter what, or you can let life dictate to you no matter what the situation is. And I just decided to make that choice. You know, this is my life. I'm gonna take them lows like a boss, and I'm gonna keep a smile on my face. I'm never gonna let them see me cry.
I
But
like
that
that. We
makes
can
sense.
identify. It does. I mean, I identify a lot with what you just said. I mean, that was a very powerful statement. I'm very deep into manifestation in the universe, and
I'm
I
happy to
thought
see
it was unique. And I
everybody
can't,
get more open about that.
huh? What would you say?
I say I'm happy to see our people. You know, I don't want to isolate anybody, but
Hmm.
seems to me our people, Black people being more open about you know being in tune with our spiritual side and talking about chakra healing and manifestation. Back in the day, or a person like me coming up in the deep fried country south, uh, anybody talking about spiritual things is automatically thinking of voodoo, especially black women. You get pegged with thinking, oh, especially if like in Texas and New Orleans, it's kind of like we
Yeah.
close
Oh,
by. So
yes.
yeah, and have you ever heard that little saying? It will say, "Oh, she must have put a curse on, a voodoo curse on me."
Hmm.
Yeah.
Down south,
I
we
grew up
often
in
get.
Arkansas, so my
Yeah.
grandmother had told me a whole
Mhm.
lot of stories and
And
stuff
so I used
about it.
to talk about that, but I don't deal with any of that. Only thing I'm into is just chakra healing, manifestations. I do believe in astral projection, and as well as yoga and just bettering yourself from the inside out. And so I used to be afraid to talk about that, but now that I start to take my power back and talk about it, I've noticed that I'm not alone with it, and especially seeing Black men as well talking about it. I love seeing things like that. So kudos to you.
Thank you,
So,
thank you. And
yeah.
you spoke on mental health. One would argue, and I would make the argument that religion and not any particular, but religion as a whole,
As a
I
whole.
think it's part of the reason why
Yeah.
a lot of us blacks have mental health issues.
I
Indeed.
won't say religion. I'll say the church house, the church. Definitely in my past, with my childhood coming up, I definitely was grew up in the church or being close to God, and definitely being in the Black churches is what kind of in the beginning drew me away from God, because I felt like that was a block in me to try to see God. But then when I show up to church, you got to be your best dressed. Everybody's judging you and looking at you, how you win, how you acting, so and so with who and that. It was too much of a distraction. So that's why I had to step away from the church and lose religion in order to gain a relationship with God.
This is no knock towards the church. There are some good churches, like everything.
Definitely
Now,
something church,
I
and I want to get
just,
into.
I mean,
I ain't
in
gonna
my
lie.
opinion, it's not many. It's not many, but I mean, there are some people that's out there doing the right thing. It's was it a commercial, or it was something on social media I was listening to the other day, and it made a lot of sense. Uh, Says the guy and his wife went to church, and his cell phone went off during the middle of the service. The preacher scolded him. Everybody looked at him and shrugged his nose, like, how could he do such a thing? He should have known better. His wife got on his case, like, how could he not turn his cell phone off while the preacher was preaching, and it went off? And the man really felt bad and low because everybody just talked about him and cut him deep. So what he did, he was feeling so depressed, he left, went home, went to a bar, thinking about what happened in church that day, and doing while he was sitting at the bar, he knocked over a beer and the beer fell, hit the floor, the glass broke. A waitress came over, mopped it up. He was like, "I'm so sorry," and everything, and she patted him on the back. And the manager came out, gave him another drink, and said, "Hey, it's okay. Everybody make mistakes. You
Mhm.
just spilled the beer. No big deal." And he's been going to that bar ever since.
Nice. Yes.
Oh man.
And the moral of the story was, the
No,
church, you got to treat people with respect, kindness, and forgiveness if you want them. He never went back to
exactly.
church, but he's been going to that bar faithfully ever since. People
Amen,
make
bro.
confession. And, I don't know, maybe that's what happened to
Things
me.
like that will drive you away. So you're right. We have to practice love and kindness to everybody. You never know what somebody's going through mentally on the inside. And I can tell you, for one, it was those people who usually, share kind words with me coming up that got me through it. Because I was a person, who was silently on the edge. Like I was ready for somebody to push me in high school. I don't know how I made it through. Oh, well, I made it through listening to the Lauryn Hill Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album. That's how I made it through.
Yeah.
But without that album and words of encouragement from counselors and people feeling sorry for me, if you will, it got me through it. It let me know that it was going to be all right. And so when you say mental health and what led me to getting it in check, for me, I guess, getting into it with my childhood, I had a pretty good upbringing, up until the time I was around 11. And then, life happened and ended up homeless, for 3 years with my family, literally living from pillow to post, sleeping anywhere from cars, shelters, bus stops, strangers' houses, family relatives, parks. Even at one point, slept at a crack house. And it stayed like that for me for 3 years, man. And it was hell. But something happens where I can like to consider it now, a blessing in disguise. At age 14, I was secretly placed in foster care by a relative, a family member. And none of my other family members knew where I was for the past 6 months. And I tried my hardest to come home. This was like in 2005, just before iPhone hit. So you don't know anybody's number, mind you. You're still doing LimeWire download and everything. Don't act like I wasn't doing it either.
Shout out to LimeWire, man.
Right, Nick here and all that.
But crib DJs.
Just at that peak, and so I didn't know anybody's number, so it wasn't like I could call them and right off the bat remember the numbers. But it was 6 months, until they found me. But then by that time, I had found out from another foster kid that if you stayed in and aged out in the state of Texas, they pay for your tuition college. And so right then and there, I had to use my book smarts and, just to elevate my use my street smarts to elevate my book smarts and just make that decision to, hey, it's going to be a sucky situation, but I'm going to do the next 4 years in the system so that I can have an opportunity to go to college. And that's just what I did. And being shuffled around.
It's commendable of you to even think like that. Most teenagers that I see now wouldn't have had that foresight in it. Because even though you was going through, I couldn't imagine a rough time. You've been homeless and you going crack houses, you in foster care, but you still in your mind, you still thinking, I got a future. If I can do something, I can flip this. I can go forward out of this. You didn't take a victim mentality and say, well, I ain't gonna be nothing. I'm gonna turn to drugs. I'm gonna give up and anything. So salute to you for that and having that mind. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, same.
Well, I had no choice, to be honest with you, man. Coming up in Fifth Ward, Texas, in Houston, that's the do or die neighborhood. It's silent but deadly. And so at age 11, I had to grow up, man. I had to, toughen up. I had to be tough. I was a Girl Scout. I used to do jump rope for heart and everything, and I had to get tough. And my stature, I'm short, and so people like to play with me. And coming up, being overly developed at a young age, and having ass and titties, for 11 and 12-year-old girl getting by grown men, that was a scary situation. So what I would have to do is, walk to school, and there was one point to where I had a guy who was following me in his truck and he was like, hey, baby girl, you need to ride to school? And like, was just kept following me. And so I just made that decision, like, I'm not going to be nobody's, little punk. If anybody's going to try to mess with me, they're going to have to work for this. And so what I did was I went into the little corner store and bought, a little switchblade. And there on out, I just started, coming to school. I didn't go into the school with the weapon. It wasn't my intention to, come to school with weapons. It was just for protection to and from school. So what I would do is I would carry the weapon to school, and before I go into the school, I'd hide it in a little place, stash it outside somewhere. And then when I come out of school, I'd pick that weapon up or a little switchblade up and just put it in my pocket and ride the bus home. But it stayed like that was one of the main reasons why I made that decision to go into foster care, because I was tired of what I was going through, man. Sleeping pillow to post, it sucked, man. And as a child, seeing that and learning the adult ways at a young age, it does something to you,
You brought something, and I've spoke on this before, and it's one of the things that burned me up. That most of these children is getting kicked out for weapons and guns, and we see the aftermath of that on on TV and everything. I don't understand why in the hell a police can be on a damn interstate looking for every black brother, whatever, that carrying drugs, but yet you can't be on the block protecting a kid going back and forth to school. You got time to do every damn thing else, but protect children. Why? Even if we have to hire, I think we brought that up with Robin, private security.
Yeah,
There is
private
no
security.
excuse why our children can't
Mm,
go to school and have a safe passage there and back.
And
This
back.
is the
Yeah.
reason why they have to join gang. Well, I know why. It's by design. But this is
Yeah.
the reason you've got to understand why children join gangs, why children are carrying guns and weapons and everything. They don't want to have to do that shit. But
that was never
they're
my intention.
threatened. They're afraid, and you know, and they don't have parents right, or parents is trying to work and make a living while the kids got to go off. Some kids getting up at 5 o'clock in the damn
Yeah,
morning, dark, trying to catch buses and stuff
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
And
that's
you know,
me.
you better not have a big sister, or brother, and parents can't afford to be there with them, or they don't have a relative, and they off by themselves. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Choppers.
that's just the way life goes. And like you said, it's the system designed that way. But I will say this in Houston, I guess that's where they decided to put the money in. So Houston did they don't play when it comes to like the schooling and having the police there. That was one thing about it. But not every city in Texas is afforded that opportunity when it comes to like having adequate and proper security at school. And so there
Mhm.
are some areas in the state of Texas that need that. But I will say this in Houston, they don't play that out here, especially with the truancy. I remember those days, if you weren't in school or inside the building by 7:06, they're locking doors on you. And you had to go to the front office and go through the metal detectors. And so I did appreciate that. But on the outside of it, that's why I had to keep my head on the swivel in the streets.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
yeah, but it's just the way life goes, and you just gotta get in where you fit in. And where my out was and my escapism was going through foster care, but that was some BS in itself because basically it's designed for you to get lost in the system. You don't even have a name, you have a case number. I can't even tell you how many caseworkers I had within those 4 years that I stayed in foster care. I know for sure. I think I went to like 5 foster homes and
Man.
2 shelters. By the time I graduated, I had been to like at least 16 schools throughout my entire
Wow.
elementary, elementary, middle, and high school, and that in itself made me, a type of person who wasn't. I don't want to say hard to get along with in the essence, but it just made me a hard person on the inside because I felt like it was no point in me getting to know people because I'm going to be
Mhm.
gone soon. They're going to be gone soon. So
Right.
for me, coming out of that environment to where chaos was normal and being
Mhm.
placed in foster home, I was actually placed in good foster homes. Ali and Shu, if y'all can believe it, I was placed in nice foster homes with
That's
black
good.
foster parents who
Yeah.
were educated, had nice cars and houses, and that made me realize, wow, that was the first time being exposed to that. I had only seen the ghetto side of black folks, and so seeing the educated side, well off side, that inspired me. And I was like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And then I found out, going to college was my option right there, and so I took it. But in essence, with that, I ended up going to Sam Houston State University. That was a blessing in itself, because within that opportunity, I got to travel abroad, and I went to South Korea for a semester. And within that opportunity, I got to travel abroad to 8 other countries. And so that's where my travel bug
Ah,
was planted. I used to say it when I was little, I'm a traveler, I'm a traveler. I didn't even realize I was manifesting until, I grew
yeah.
up and understood what manifesting
Wow.
was. I used to say it all the time when I was a little girl, I'm gonna go to Bora Bora, I'm gonna do this and that. And look at me now. I never knew how I was gonna do it. I just knew that I was gonna do it. I let God work out the kinks and just claim it. That's how I think of it now. Don't worry about the little kinks, let God work that out. Just claim it and put your name on it. But as well as I started my own student organization titled Pay It Forward, and so that's where my motivation speaking. But was planning. We used to go to different high schools, sharing the importance of education, as well as sharing my testimony with them. And kids would come up to me afterwards and be like, "Well, I'm in the same situation. I'm in foster care too. I didn't know the state of Texas would pay for my tuition, and I'm gonna go to college now. I didn't know." And so that right there, that inspired me and then let me know that hey, I got a story to tell, and it's going to inspire people. And so 4 years later, graduated, with my bachelor's degree in international business. I got 2 minors in economics and business communications. Fast forward a couple
What
of years
made you
later,
want to study business?
do it
What
should
made
say again.
what made you want to study international business?
Because I've always been a businesswoman. Even as a Girl Scout, I was a little hustler. I mean, I remember them days when they used to have us out in Fiesta, selling the cookies.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I hustled other girls, man. There was some other girls that tried to come over there and tell me, you can't do all this and that. And next thing I know, she tried me and I took her cookies. She was giving me her little boxes. But, not trying to, show my gangster side, but I've always been a businesswoman. That's, always been about the business. Always knew, I was going to be my own boss one day. And so, like I said, manifest, plan, prepare. And so with college, I just knew that business was going to be my top tier, but also to set myself up and make sure I have other, little niches, not just one, put all eggs in one basket, if you will, have other outs. And so I got my master's degree in entrepreneurship. I ended up getting my real estate license as well as my insurance license. And, God's been so good to me, man. I'm an author. I do motivational speaking. I have my own YouTube channel. I travel all over the world, been in 50 plus countries, but until the pandemic. But, so that just goes to show you, there's power in your testimony. Everybody has purpose in life. You just have to, take a step back and look at it for what it is. Even if it's starting out gritty and grimy, how do they say it? Pressure turns, coal
Yeah.
into a diamond.
Yeah.
So just let
Pressure
let it
make diamonds. It busts pipes, but it also can make a diamond.
yeah, there you go. And so with that being stated, all those blessings and accomplishments and notches I had under my belt, Ali and shoot, that didn't mean a damn thing because I was still dealing with, issues that plagued my past and, childhood trauma that carried over into my adulthood. Like I said, I was taken out of that environment, that chaotic environment, what I had known and what was normal to me, if you will. And so being
Mm-hmm.
taken out of the environment, it threw me back. I believe for me, it was too good to be true. And so I'm sorry, give me one second. Hold on. Even though I had all those accomplishments, things from my past was still carrying over and I never really dealt with. Being shuffled around, feeling haunted and unloved. And I decided I must tell my whole truth. And I respect family and privacy, but I must speak my truth. At times I hold back because I always respect their privacy and ones that mean they go around my telling all I be. This is my truth and I'm gonna live it. A relative is the one who dropped me off at a crowd and left me there.
Oh
So,
shit.
at
And
what point did you realize that mental health may be a problem and that you may need to seek someone and speak about this?
get into that, yeah. So all those issues and coming back in
Mm-hmm.
after I graduate and got all these accomplishments, I'm still having those characteristics to where I was self-sabotaging because I believe that things
Mm-hmm.
it was too good for me to be true. So all throughout high school and being in foster care, I was self-sabotage because I just didn't think if I was worthy of and deserved it. And so with that, it carried over into my adulthood to where there was one incident. And it was many of them, but there was this one that just stuck with me to where I had a meeting with a well-connected person, and I purposely, I let those demons get in the back of my head telling me, I'm not good enough. They don't, they just having, pity on you. And so I would let those demons in the back of my head get to me and just, it I purposely showed up late for that meeting into where it left a sour taste in their mouth. And for years, I just sat back on that and thinking like, wow, I messed up. And so thinking about that and other things that I messed over, that's looking myself in the mirror and facing that ugly truth and just saying, whatever I went through in my childhood, whatever I went through in my past, it was out of my control. It wasn't my fault. But as an adult, it's on me to deal with. It's my problem to go and fix. And so I just missed that notion that, Black people don't do therapy. And I just said, bump that. This Black girl gonna do some therapy. And that's just what I did. um, and it wasn't until like after the pandemic or around the pandemic, I actually started to get serious with it and be consistent with it. And I'm glad I did because, getting my mental health in check is what led to me writing the book and, starting my business and, the YouTube channel and so much more. So, I definitely like to advocate and push for others out there that's going through any type of trials and tribulations or, suffering from any traumatic past to face that truth and just say, hey, whatever it is that I went through in life, whoever fault it was, whoever problem it caused on, brought it on, it's on me to fix. And so you
Mm-hmm.
have to, take that notion and just have that courage to dismiss, whatever, notion or rumors people say, especially, in our community, that, we not allowed to, express our feelings or share what I was taught, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And so, that, for
A lot of
example,
us was taught that.
yeah, if somebody touched you, they get mad at you for telling, that's how it was in my culture. I won't say the family, but my culture and my environment. You get mad, even though you're the victim,
Yeah.
you in the wrong. It's your fault. You did something. You was acting fast. You was doing this and that. You enticed them.
That's
You know,
wild.
so that's how it is. But I want to take this time and say, for anybody out there that's listening, Black, white, Mexican, short, fat, tall, gay, straight, I don't give a damn. Just know that whatever, mental health or issues that you're going through, please know that it is okay to not be okay, but just don't sit there and not be okay. Go get help, whatever the
Don't
case may
suffer in
be.
silence.
Exactly. Talking with a therapist, a family member, a friend, picking up a hobby, mending broken bridges, cutting people off, even if getting on medications, what you need to do it. Do whatever it is that you guys have to do to keep your mental health in check and keep you from going off the deep end and possibly taking anybody with you. I realized that I never really understood that notion, Ali, that hurt people until I realized how hurt I was, and it was affecting others. I was projecting it on others. And so definitely, when your mental health isn't in check and you can go off the deep end, you may take somebody with you. You hear about it all the time. Kids getting bullied and they go back into the school and trying to get one person that's bullying them and take out 10 other innocent people that had nothing to do with it. And so that's definitely why it's important to keep your mental health in check. And again, for anybody out there that's going through any mental health, issues or anguish, I want to share these mental health resources with you. And if you know anybody out there that needs it, please feel free to share with them. The crisis hotline number is 1-800-273-8255, or you can call or text 988, or you can text 741-741. Or for those that would prefer to go online, you guys can check out mentalhealthishealth.com, or you can visit 988lifeline.org. Or for those that are outside the US that's watching y'all boys After Five podcast, y'all go check out encounseling.com. So ENCOUNSELING.com. And remember, you guys, although I am giving you guys these mental health resources, you have to own homework and find what works best for you, because at the end of the day, you're the captain of the ship. And you're the one that decides to navigate the waters, nobody else. Lastly, when it comes to like mental health check, I want you guys to remember and know that whatever trial and tribulation that you guys are going through, this too shall pass and you will get through it. So going off the deep end is not an option. It's not worth it. So don't do it. Yeah, I digress.
As long as you breathing, you got an opportunity and a chance. No matter how hard it is, you can overcome.
Yeah,
Every Wednesday in our panels, we always present a Black person or a person of color that has made a difference in the Black culture, black community. And I always particularly choose a person that arrived from slavery, that made millions of dollars, either doing slavery to freedom or soon after they were free from slavery and went on to make millions of dollars. So,
Stepping fetching.
Stephen, what you say?
I'm thinking of the first Black millionaire, and that would be Stepping fetching.
I don't know who the first Black millionaire is, but do elaborate, because step and fetch, and what did they do? Because I've heard that term and I'm wanting to know, how do they equate step and fetch in the corporate world? Because right now it's not a positive thing.
It never was. So Stephen Fetching was a Black actor, one of the first Black actors doing the ministry phase. They used to do the blackface when so Stephen Fetching was the first Black actor to get on and play those. I don't like that word, the R word, but those non-smart roles. He looked very sluggish and slowish, and just some answers and eyes are coming. He was just the monkey on the tightrope, basically.
Yeah.
And so when you hear somebody saying step and fetching, it means being, the white people's monkey. But you want about Stephen Fetchner, even though he played those roles, every role that he played in Hollywood was that dumb nigger role. Sorry to say that. I'm sorry if my language too intense, but that role, causing him playing those roles, is what made him a millionaire, and he was the first Black millionaire in America.
Real good point with our people, and one of I try to address with our people is we look down on Stephen Fetching because of the occupation that he showed. But like you said, we don't look at how many families and how many other businesses and benefits because of him sacrificing and playing that role that he played. We don't know how other many people that you look up to benefited off of him. So was he really stepping, fetching, and setting out, or was he doing what he had to do to get the culture over? And I think
I don't
that
think he realized it at that time, but if he was alive today,
because
I
the
think.
thing is, the difference between now, if you go back and you look at Martin Luther King, when Harry Belafonte and all of those actors during that time period, he was telling them, don't come down here and don't join the march. We soldiers, we gonna get beat up. We gonna take the hits in the march, but we gotta eat and we need money. You stay in front of them cameras and keep supporting us like you doing, and let the street soldiers get out there in the street and do what we do. And that's how the movement was able to make change and to keep going. Nowadays, we don't believe in that mentality. Everybody got to be a soldier. We don't think about, okay, you need a backfield. Even when you go to war militarily, not everybody is on the front line fighting. You need support staff. We don't have military minded strategies, I don't think, in this day and age. And this is one of the reasons why it sounds good, but it runs out of steam.
True.
Yeah.
True. But what I can say about this generation, Ali, is that slowly but surely, and that's good that we talking about the specifics of racism and slavery, because that's what I wrote my book on, in regards to slavery in the form of reverse racism. It's titled "What If: A
Book
Controversial
coming out
Paradox."
about racism in corporate, so we don't have to talk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Lab or something.
Gotta get your copy of mine again. So, "What If: A Controversial Paradigm Shift" is a book that I've written to encourage and inform thought-provoking conversations about injustice and systemic racism in America. And I've done this through graphic and provocative illustrations. And so I've also had it set up in four main paradigm shifts. We have historical, political, precedent, and hypothetical. And within these four paradigms, I'm asking the basic questions. What if? Basically, if this was your people and this happened to your people, and if this will still happen to your people, how would you feel then? So, for example, and when you open up to historical paradigm, one of the first uh, questions that I ask is, what if in 1619 Africans started dealing in illegal slave trading, whereas they kidnapped millions of English men, women, and children and brought them to America on slave ships? And then you see that provocative and thought-provoking illustrations where you have white slaves in shackles and chains, and one of them jumping from the ship, and then you have a black slave ship masters, whipping them just like how they did us. And so I have it set up to where it's controversial, but it gets your attention. It pulls you to that round table so that we can have these conversations that need to be had and that are often swept under the rug and people like to turn a blind eye to. And, I'm well aware that, change doesn't happen overnight. It takes more than one person, griping and complaining. But however, what if, Shu and Ali, this was a generation that planted the seed for the next, and nothing beats a failure but a try. And so, as well as I also want to say that this book is not about, well, it will piss some people off, but it's not about,
Everything
covering
gonna
white
piss people
folks
off.
or using this as a tool to incite our people to, get upset with the whites. No, it's not that at all. So this book is just simply meant to, push that envelope, and get you to have those conversations that need to be had, as well as, as how I learned from number 45. Um, this man was in the office and caused all this ruckus. And from him, he still had people fighting for him, no matter what. And so that was 75 million people still, condoning him. And that taught me, that was 25% of the US adult population. And so what I learned from number 45 and others is that you go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it. And no
Exactly.
matter what you selling to the public, no matter what you putting out, no matter who you are, it's going to be people out there that's going to condone you and support your BS. Not throwing no shade, but let's talk about this new artist, Sexy Red. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know
Everybody
about
got their
Sexy Red.
taste or whatever. Hey, I'm not judging you, but as you can see, it's some people that don't like her, but she got enough people that's rolling for her to where she's pushing her to where she needs to be. And so that again shows to me, no matter who you are, no matter what you put into the public, be who you are, be yourself, and it's gonna be people riding for you no matter what. So with this book, I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated and not where I'm tolerated. Yeah.
What is your response to those that say, well, everybody had slaves? You know,
I'm so sorry. Can you say that again?
what is your response to those that say, well, everybody had slaves?
Well, my response is everybody wouldn't have had slaves if it wasn't for white folks teaching them how to own slaves. And you got to remember how the slave trade started. It started with the Portuguese learning and teaching others how to, trade and work the kidnapping, as well as one thing that I hear with this book is that Black people owned slaves, Africans kidnapped their own people and sold them into slaves.
Mm-hmm.
However, they wouldn't have did any of that had not the white folks taught them how to do that. It was the Portuguese that came over and basically tricked some tribes. They bribed some tribes, with silk and spices and minerals and other things that Africa didn't have. And so that's how they was able to infiltrate other tribes and get them to kidnap our people, as well as eventually assimilate into the same trading, occupation. And so to answer your question, Eileen, my thought on that is that wouldn't have started had white people lit the match.
Now, some will go a little bit deeper onto that. And when you start talking with, I call them I won't say Egyptologists, what's the comedic scientists type people and the chemic type people, they will go back and they will tell the story that, yeah, although the Portuguese actually did not teach them slavery, they actually learned the stuff from the Moors. They went
And
over into Europe. That's like we do today. And the Moors left from the sacred teachings of Africa and got drunk and started screwing the white women and started getting at the lips and teaching sacred stuff that should have never been taught. And next thing you know, they took that knowledge. And when Europe came out of the Dark Ages, they vowed never to go back to that again. And that was one of their defense mechanisms when they came over, and they actually learned that from us. And then some will take it back to what Egyptians owned slaves and everything. Now, my response to American slavery is this. Matter of fact, slavery is still going on to this day. Slavery has never stopped. Even in the U.S., you go to jail, you considered a slave, and so that's why they're putting a lot of us in jail for basically nothing. We're the United States jail more than anyone else in the world. So we still got slavery going, and then there's still sex trading slaves. You still got, even in Africa, you still got people mining for diamond slaves, and the De Beers, and uh, what's the mineral? I can't think of the mineral that they make the cell phones in. So slavery's still
Cobalt.
going. Cobalt, you
Yeah,
call it?
yeah, Cobalt.
Cobalt. So we still got a lot of slavery going on. It never stopped. The thing that I push back, and when people say, well, everybody has slavery's still going on, but I would ask, especially if they're non-melanated, do you know who your great grandfather is? Can you tell me the story how your great grandfather came to this country? Oh yeah, my great grandfather was Irish. He came to here with $20 in his pocket. He worked in a store, and he swept on. He worked his way up, and he built a store, and he sent my great whatever to college, and this is how we came here. Well, I can't tell that story. Matter of fact, I don't even know where the hell I've been to. I can't go back to a tribe in Africa. The difference between me being a slave, and when I say me, my people, Americans, and even Americans, and even some of the islanders in slavery, is you strip me from my name, my religion, and everything. If I went back to Africa today, I can't trace back where the hell I went to. Now they got some DNA test, 23andMe, say, but it's a broad general.
Them
I can't
shit's
go back and try.
trash.
Yeah, it's trash.
I
It
did
gives
an
you a
ancestry
general.
test one time.
I'm forever lost. And not only am I lost when you took me, I've been my bloodline been raped and
Diluted.
diluted. That's the
Yeah,
word I'm looking at. I've been raped and diluted so much. So hell, when you do a DNA test on me, my bloodline points to hell. It may point to India, it points to Japan, it
Yeah.
points to Africa, it points to Europe, it points every damn where. And it's just all
yeah,
over the damn place, and I'm mixed up. I'm a lot. And so when people say, well, what are you? I have to say I'm lost
Yeah.
because I don't know my beginning. I don't
that's
know what I am. I am one of the lost tribe of Israel. I don't know where I came from. I don't know who my original people are, my bloodline, and I can't follow that. Hell, I was given the last name, but hell, that was a slave master's name, and I don't know my true self of being. And then I was given a religion and I was given an education. By the same person that kidnapped me and my people and indoctrinated me this deal. So yeah, this is very much needed, and a lot of black people got to realize. Wait, a lot. I will credit just Gen Z.
mm,
Now they don't do a lot of that I agree with, right? But there is a lot of knowledge
mm,
of self that's coming about. But I think
yeah,
it's the create as we move into this Aquarian age. And so, you look at India, and part of us are Indian and don't even
Yeah.
realize it. We don't
Don't
know
realize
who of us originated here as Indians, American Indians, and who came from Africa. And then we
yeah. I have
co-mingle.
black and Cherokee in my family, but
Yeah,
they're
even the Indians
it.
turned around and had slaves, and enslaved some of us with tribes. And all the good things that we've done seem to missed history. A lot of people think that we were, oh, I get it. They said we should be thankful for slavery because slavery gave us a religion and civilized us. But did I not point in one of our previous episodes? Did I not post a church in Ethiopia that was before religion, the BC, where it was cross. They had a church in the shape of a cross built in the rock down.
Oh wow. See,
Yeah.
that's why I have to
That's
lose
today.
religion in itself. Like I don't even when you talking about religion, I hear you, but again, it don't apply to me because I didn't lost it. For me, again,
Right.
it's so many out there, so diluted. It's
Exactly. It has been,
preaching now,
but
basically. And
that's
so
the but that's a church that's the excuse that the church has taught us. Well, slavery was bad, but it gave you Jesus. Okay. No,
we would have
Shout out
our
found
to
out
my
people
about
nigga
this
were
Jesus.
not
honestly, but
barking at trees. The people were
written word.
not, yeah, and our people were not barking at trees and didn't have a sense of culture
I
and
was.
religion. If you go back and you read the temples,
I
your
was barking.
Moses stole 10 of the laws with his 10 commandments. But I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, and well, then you should because
42,
taking a
but
trip to
especially,
Egypt and
yeah,
and being in the Egyptian museum and seeing Ramses II and Nefertiti's sculpture, you clearly you could tell that they were black. They had nothing but the black features and nose and everything, and they try to cover it up and sugarcoat it. But if you actually go there, like I've been there, and see their pictures and their statues, I've actually seen Ramses' casket and took a picture of it, and you can't go and touch it; they have it blocked off, but I've seen it, and when I was there, I just felt like home. Like I was reminded that I have blood of kings and queens flowing through my veins, and so I encourage all our people. If you ever get a chance to, if they say go back to Africa, I say choose Egypt. That's where we want to remind yourself where your bloodline is. If you ask, what's my bloodline, I'm lost, I don't know. Go back to Egypt and you'll find it. But
Ethiopia. But
in,
people sleep on Ethiopia and don't realize that Ethiopia was a Mecca and had tombs and stuff going on there. They also forget about Iraq, which was
yeah,
what predated
yeah,
Egypt. So
before
a lot of
Africa, yeah.
people still got a lot of learning because we talk about the 10 Commandments and we don't realize that there was actually 42.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, it's more than
42
that.
principles of mind.
42 laws of mind, or the negative confession. I've heard it as 42 laws of mind, and what is it? The negative confessions.
Yeah, or
Mhm.
ISIS papers.
In the Isis paper and the negative,
Yeah.
the 42 negative confessions, which
Mhm.
Christianity took 10 of them to make the 10 commandments.
Yeah, but also with the Bible, and again, I hate going to religion because I'm not a religious person. I try to stay away from religion and politics. But if it goes there, oh well.
You
But
ain't no
as well as
religion, but
with
sometimes it's religion. I always tell you it's religion, but then it's the truth.
yeah,
Now, and people will, and it's not to put anything down. You believe in which, if you believe it, you believe in it. I am not here to argue with anyone on their beliefs and everything. Believe what you believe. But like I tell people, where's King Solomon Temple? Well, it got destroyed. Where's the cross that Jesus? Well, it got this and that. I can tell you, well, after nine, we ain't got a debate on that. History. We can go and find King. You seen King Ramses?
hmm
We know who King Ramses' daddy was. It was King Akhenaten,
hmm
the one who came up with the one sun god.
raw.
It's not mentioned. The one God deal and everything else. And I'm saying, when you trace back them, you can go, and if they let you in, you go and you read those that can translate and read the walls. All that is still there to
Oh
this
yeah, I seen it. It's there. I believe
to
you.
this
I've seen the
day.
writings,
And
literally.
you bear witness. You know what I'm saying? When they say, "Can I get a witness in church?" I mean, you
Thank
gonna
you.
tell me those people didn't have no religion, but they can line a damn pyramid up with the damn stars and the star constellation? We can't do that to this day.
Real
We
shit.
live in a different time. Shoot,
We
you've been
can't
awfully
do what they
quiet.
done.
What you got to say?
Huh?
I said, "Shoot, been quiet."
Oh, what do I have to say? Haha, that's funny. We talking about my life, essentially. We're talking about things that I've done. So me sitting here, I'm just, soaking it up. But as far as this particular context, I really don't feel too much about it because these cycles they come and go. This shit is a repeat. Everything is just cycles. So whenever we talk about slavery, to me it's just kind of like a joke because a lot of this shit has been covered up. Most of it has been covered up. Like most of us never actually came from Africa. Most of us came from here, like
Mhm,
America. A lot of shit been swapped. A lot of
mhm.
names been changed. I was speaking with Ali yesterday, or I think on our panel, talking about Christopher Columbus. Like that's not even his real fucking name.
Oh,
Just
don't
shit
get me
like
started.
that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing about like you mentioned the Portuguese, like a lot of people don't know. They talk about religion, but the Pope is the motherfucker that sanctions slavery. You know,
Mhm,
the Pope passed basically a law saying that you can go below the Cape of Bojador, and that's in Western Africa near
mhm,
Senegal. You go past the Cape of Bojador, you can kidnap any motherfucker you want. So
mhm.
when you talk about slavery, we're talking about the past, and I'm a present type of person, so I really don't give a fuck about this, to be
I
honest
like
with
that.
you.
And
You
at the
got
same time, when you talk about America, most people don't realize you go to the Grand Canyon, there's pyramids in the canyon
Yeah, there
with
are.
is it?
Egyptian names that they don't allow you to go they won't allow you to go to that point to even discover some of this stuff.
True.
Oh, you
I
got
actually
to do
have a
that.
friend that went to
But
the
I feel you want
she
to shield
lives there.
about living in the past, and so you're
Yeah,
right. And so moving forward, but in the essence of moving forward, it's also kind of like a catch-22 because in the presence of what we living in, you still got killings of unarmed black men and women, and even not necessarily just black people, innocent people. You still have people with authority, like police officers, some of them, not all, who abuse their powers of authority. And so, as far as the past goes, that situation is in the past. But what about the present? Things that we're still dealing with now. And so, it, for me, it's not shit of the past. It's things that's in the present that's still bugging the fuck out of me. It make me feel like, well, damn. What if all the shit that we did to y'all, from what y'all did to us from the past to the present to the future, what if we did this to y'all? How would y'all feel? And again, a lot of the questions I get from the other side, some other people, non-colored people agree, but you still have those group that like to deflect and make excuses to one. I had an argument. I don't want to say argument. I say debate
yeah,
about the George Floyd. And again, clearly seeing this cop, Derek, what's his? I don't even want to say his name. The cop, he, had his
Yeah.
knee on this dude's neck for over 8. You've seen this on video, and you still have people making that excuse. Well, he was resisting. He was on fentanyl. He was a
My
thug.
thing
He
is,
had a
why are
that
we
third.
discussing? My thing is, why are we even discussing that with the other race?
Because we need to have those conversations. And with my
Why?
book, the way that I have it is that if they're gonna turn a blind eye, we're gonna put it in their faces. We're gonna make them
Well,
have to.
why not just stand up and say, well, I ain't going for it no more?
See,
My
now you
the way that I
speaking.
set this book and how I have it is that's my thought process of saying, we're not taking this no more, or are we gonna start giving you a dose of, not necessarily giving a dose of, because I don't again, this book is not meant to, incite violence, or
Or any
but it's
violence on anyone. It's like this. I wish nothing but love, peace, and happiness for anybody. And that's how I live my life. I am not a violent person. Let me set this alarm tonight and go to sleep, and you come into this house. Nothing less than death will
Your
you
ass
meet.
getting cooked.
oh
Nothing,
Lord.
unless you kill me first, there will be nothing less than death once you cross that line and you come in
Oh
here
Lord,
into
I
that
crossed
alarm. There is
I
no
want that smoke.
negotiation.
Yeah.
And
And
that's the
yeah,
thing. Yeah, I am for it. There are great people out there. If I am, like I go out for a walk all the time. I'm armed. You know, I don't want no problems. I'm not looking for no smoke with nobody. Now, should you think I don't belong in this neighborhood and you decide that you want to pursue me, like some people done in Georgia with a young man that was going through the neighborhood, and I see a weapon, I will defend myself. There is no
mhm.
negotiation there. There's nothing. I
And
don't need you to agree with my side, and I'll accept the consequences. If you should mess with my child, if my child should be unjustly targeted, or a family member, whatever in that deal, then
yeah.
I don't need a judge.
Hey, I feel that. I feel the same way. And I want to say it, but this
Yeah.
is this is what we call out here, shooting up Texas. So everybody packing. And so
Yeah.
in Texas, I think
Well,
about Houston,
that's what that
still no
said.
surprise. So we got it all out here. But in Texas, how
Mhm.
it goes, everybody watches where they step because they know somebody somewhere packing. And so,
That's the thing.
uh,
We are defending against ourselves. We
uh,
pack guns in the hood and everything else to defend our life against another me. So if I come into fourth ward, fifth ward, fourth ward, or whatever, and they don't know my face or whatever, oh, who is he? He don't look familiar or whatever. I don't think he belongs here. Oh, he just got a gold shirt. I don't know who he is. I don't know. We got to check that fool out. You know what? He got some Jordans on. He think he's somebody. You know what? I might have to smoke that fool. He looking there. He better not disrespect and say something. I got to get him. So with me walking in the fourth ward, yeah, it's a problem. You defending it. I'm no third. Well, some of us may be, but I'm easily to be the target and to be smoked in there. Now,
yeah,
when when somebody with a certain thing on their thing, one of them will walk in your hood in Fifth Ward, and everybody sit back like, oh, there goes somebody coming. There goes somebody coming. Yo, chill, chill. Here comes so and so. He coming through there. I'm in, don't want to smoke. So when so and so pull up, hey boy, come here. Well, if you don't run, your option there is to either run, or if he do get you, oh man, come on, man, why you messing with me? I ain't done nothing. Hey man, here's the crowd. Hey, leave him alone. That ain't right what y'all doing to him. Don't do him like that. Oh yeah, y'all shouldn't do him like that or whatever. That's messed up what y'all doing him. And I'm gonna record this. Oh yeah, this is going viral. Why I don't get that same appreciation? That's all I'm saying. I don't advocate violence. I'm just saying when George Floyd died, it was a crowd.
yeah. And that's
That's all
that.
I'm
But
saying.
his I will say this for George, his death wasn't in vain. Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm still stuck on the Fifth Ward. First of all, ain't no cops coming through Fifth Ward because they already know.
Yeah, I was about to say no.
But
That shit.
second of
Okay,
all,
when they see
with,
somebody,
with
they
George
come
Floyd,
through there.
I would say his death wasn't in vain because something came out of that. Change came out of his death, and it's unfortunate that it cost him his life. But finally, if it was just one time, somebody was held accountable for the wrongdoing. It finally, That's how I felt when that the police officer was sentenced. It was like, wow, we need more of that. And then now that I've seen that it's possible, this is just the beginning. And so what I will say for that is that it's unfortunate that it happened, but sometimes not sometimes, everything happens for a reason, and God can turn tragedy into a triumph. So I still think the best is yet to come. We're just getting started. We got such a long road to go, but it's gonna take all of us coming to that
Race. Do any
table
other race
and have
have
that
do
conversation.
any other race in the US have this problem?
Well, now they got the little infomercials with the attacks on the Asian
But,
culture
but
and
Shit
do
things
any
like that.
other
trash.
They don't go
race
through what we
do
go
any other race have
through.
this
In
problem in the
short,
United
no,
States?
no, no,
No.
no, they don't. In short, they
So
don't.
why in the hell do it take us so damn long?
You said it earlier, the system. But
Huh?
with that, to answer that
No,
question,
I tell you why. Well, if you listen to Umar, he said because some of them got countries that will back them up. But what they keep quiet is Cap. Okay, let's go back. I think it was it Arizona, California, somewhere, a biker gang. A white biker gang had no Texas, I think it was. No, Texas, I think it was. I have to Google it. I can't see. They went into a bar, shot the whole damn bar up in a damn
Yeah, they got the
it
shootout.
was
shooting in that
like
hole.
the bar.
The
Yeah,
police, everybody.
everybody.
Not one person went to jail.
Nobody went to
Not
jail.
Yeah,
one
I think I remember
was
that. Yeah, it
charged
was like a
and
biker
went to jail.
brawl.
Now,
That shit
Yeah,
was on the news.
Arizona,
Yeah.
yeah, it was on the news and everything. It happened like
yeah,
in like
not
West
one.
Texas.
Now, back in the day in Arizona, it used to be so bad where state troopers would pull over one Hispanic. He would get on his cell phone, call his boys, and some of this was gangster. While that trooper had him pulled up, his boys would come by and do a drive-by.
Oh wow. Oh.
You wouldn't put that in the air that. Hell, and they others you kill
Stay in my office.
Jose, and there's going to be consequences.
Yep. Well, there's consequences for
They don't
everything.
give a
It's not there.
damn. Now I'm not
But
advocating violence or anything. I'm just stating the facts and the obvious. This is all, no threat. This is verifiable stuff, not stuff that I'm making up.
yeah.
For those out there that's listening. But you're right, we do need to have a conversation, and I do want to check out your book. Tell us where we can get your book at.
Sure, definitely. You guys can check out my book and get your copy of my book at my website, differenceworld.net. Again, that's spelled DIFERNTSWORLD.net. You guys can check out all my social media handles, including my Instagram, my TikTok. I'm not on Twitter, no, they didn't change Twitter to X something, so
Yeah, it's
fuck all
X
that.
now.
But
And then they talking
so
about paying you to look on
I
it.
ain't on
Yeah.
Twitter or Facebook, but definitely I try to drive all the traffic to my YouTube. Definitely hit that subscribe button on with my YouTube channel. I talk about different content. Mondays we do motivational. Tuesdays social awareness. Wednesdays I drop my interviews. Thursday I do my pop culture reviews, and on Fridays I do my travel vlogs. And so if you guys want to check out all the places I've been so far that I've uploaded, I think I got like my places, 20 of my places. I'm about to drop my Cuba one soon. I'll be dropping that tomorrow.
I always wanted to go to Cuba. I'm a little jealous there.
Yeah, I can't go back there. My face probably on a wanted poster or something. Woo! But
Nice.
had so much fun out there and just living life, man. I've been all over the world, and even with that, I just want to say, with traveling and having nice things and fancy things, money doesn't buy happiness. If you're not happy within and having your mental in check and having your mind in with your heart, anything that's coming to you in life, you're not going to appreciate it. At times you're going to squander it. And so it's very, very important to, once you're going out, before you go out for what's yours, you get your mental health in check. So you fix yourself from the inside out. Like I said, my motto is manifest, plan, prepare. And what I mean manifest is the first step when it comes to that is to remove all doubt, all fear, all naysayers, and replace it with positive affirmations and get it in your mind and start seeing it before you receive it. next step is to plan for it, get it out on paper, write out how you're going to attack your plan of achievement and how you're going to achieve that goal. Have a backup plan, an exit strategy. You can't plan for the unknown, but you can expect that it is coming. And whenever it does, remember, whatever trial and tribulation you're going through, you a boss, so you're going to get through it. And this too shall pass. And so once you have those two down pat, you move on to preparing yourself. And when I say prepare, that means prepare from the inside out. Go fix your financial house. Go fix your physical house. Go hit that gym up. Go mend those broken bridges. Go cut those people off that mean you know well. So whatever it is in life that you manifested and preparing for, whenever it comes to you, you can be prepared for it. You won't squander it like how I did in my early 20s. I had so many good opportunities coming my way, but again, I just didn't feel worthy of it and I squandered it. And so the approach that I'm taking now in my 30s is just to manifest, plan, and prepare for every good thing that I want in my life, and it's gonna come to me. It might not come overnight. It definitely won't come, within a day or so, but it'll come to me. And especially, with putting in hard, you have to also remember that second part: faith without work is dead. Dead. You can have all the faith you want. You can walk by faith and not by sight all you want. But if you don't put in that work to offset that faith, then it's whatever you planning and manifesting for and being prepared for it, it's not going to come to you. And so definitely have those mindset when it comes to manifesting, planning, preparing for whatever it is in life that you want, and it will surely come to you guys.
Wow, that was awesome. You were definitely difference is the right name for you because you are definitely a difference maker
Yeah, for real.
Thank
and
you, Ali.
motivation.
Real talk.
Thank you.
And
Thank
definitely
you.
motivational.
Gentlemen, look at you, go boy. Yeah, well,
I mean it.
and I'm a perfect person. Don't get it twisted. I still got my flaws. I'm a work in progress, and we all are. But with that being said, what I want my life to show before I leave out of here, I want my life to be seen as an example of how God can use, His most flawed people and still, take you from the back to the front. I've made many mistakes, squandered so many opportunities, left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. But look at me, look how much God has blessed me, and the best is yet to come. And so anybody out there listening and watching, just look at me and listen to my story and my background and where I come from and just see that, hey, no matter what you've been through in life, no matter, what you're going through in life, it doesn't determine your final destination. It's all on you. And that starts with getting your mental health in check and keeping it in check. That's also another thing you got to realize when it comes to getting your mental health in check. You got to be serious about it. It's just like when you decide to physically, lose, keep it off. You can't go back to that old life because what you do, it's going to be downfall from that. And so going to therapy is not just a one-stop shop. A lot of people, well, I'm gonna go to therapy one time and I'm gonna be all right. No, it's a full-on lifetime commitment to keep your mental health in check. And so once you start, you cannot stop. And that's something to be, once to before you get in and finally admit and accept that you need to get your mental health in check, you have to be prepared and ready and mature for it.
And
For sure.
take note of those numbers that she dropped. We have the links
Yeah.
in the comment, and by all means, get your personal check.
I know it by heart because I use these numbers. I sharing this with you guys. 2021 was the hardest year of my life. I lost 5 people back to back, including my mother being the last person. She died in my arms the day after Christmas, and that just took me out. And before she left, she made me promise her not to go off deep end. And so that immediately with that, it was important to grieve right away and keeping my mental health in check. And I'm still grieving. I'm still going through it. October 1st will be her birthday. She would have been 53. And what I'm going through in my mind now is like, damn, she should be here. And so every birthday, every that anniversary that come around, I fight, the feeling of I don't want to say suicidal thoughts, but how I feel about it is wherever my mom is at, I want to be with her. I just want to see her one more time, give her a hug one more time, heaven or hell, wherever she's at, I want to be with her. But it's not necessarily saying go off the deep end and do so, but saying that to share with others because I know I'm not the only person going through it. And me sharing this, it lets me know I have so many people come to me and send me messages like, man, I didn't know your story is my story. It's giving me hope. And so sharing this with somebody that may be dealing with the loss of a loved one, like how I am, I just want to give them hope and encouragement and letting them know that they will get through it, but it's going to take work and utilizing your tools. Get online. A lot of people say that they can't afford to go talk with a therapist. I understand it's expensive, and so but
They're
don't let
not
money
cheap.
yeah, don't let money be the reason why you can't keep or don't keep your mental health in check or do something about your mental health. There are other resources out there, getting online, finding free resources around your local area. Again, you guys just have to do your research and just find what works best for you. But don't let that don't use any excuse. There's just too many options and alternatives out there for you to be any excuse. Unless I often tell people this too, again, it's not your fault. It was out of your control, but somehow, some way, it's your problem to deal with. You realize it's just a problem that you need to fix, and you don't want to go get it fixed, then it is your fault. That whatever's bringing and coming onto your life, trial and tribulation, you're part of that problem now. Because if you know it's the issue and you don't want to get it fixed, then you deserve what you get. I'm a realist, I don't say, try to hold back, be mindful, but it's the truth. It's the ugly truth that a
With
lot of us don't.
with your realness, I gotta ask you, what is your sign?
Say it again.
With your realness, I have to ask you, what is your sign?
Oh, I'm a Sag. Through and through.
Okay.
Sagittarius. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fire. I am the smoke.
Yeah.
I'm
Sagittarius
an
is ruled by
Aries, and
Jupiter.
I come with fire.
My nephew's Aries. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Child. Shoot, what are you? A
What?
Scorpio?
Nah.
What you is?
Nah. I
Oh,
mean, if we doing Western astrology, I'm a Taurus. If we doing Eastern astrology, I'm Aries.
oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I need love. I need love. I'm about my money. I get the love after.
yeah, I
Y'all
like
cool. Y'all fun.
Sagittarius. Y'all ruled by Jupiter, man. Jupiter's is the
But
illness.
I want to state this. I know it's a lot of Sagittarius out there that cheat. I don't play. I'm
I
all
mean, y'all
about loyalty.
expensive.
Now I
Y'all
admit
supposed
it,
to
I'm a
cheat.
flirt. I'm a flirt. But once I'm with you, I'm with you. And so anybody think as soon as I tell them I'm a Sagittarius, oh yeah, cheaters. No, some of them are, most of the men, and a little of the women, But me, I believe in loyalty. I was just raised around an environment where loyalty was everything, and it's death before disloyalty. And I'm with you, I'm with you. However, if I'm with you, I expect the same loyalty and respect. It goes hand in hand.
Where I'm gonna tell y'all something funny real quick. So in tarot, tarot cards have like images, and the card for Sagittarius is the Knight of Wands, which is like, knights are like kind of like a younger card, I guess. Whenever they like are reading, it's usually supposed to be like a younger card. But the Knight of Wands, to a lot of people who are like new to tarot, is they consider it to be like the player card. So whenever
Yes, I'm a player. I'm a
yeah,
Mac. Okay,
exactly.
I am
Macking,
fat Mac.
yeah.
International fat Mac. I do be macking. I
All
can't lie.
right.
I do.
Hey, no,
But
you said
of
Sagittarius.
course,
I was like,
but
oh, it's a fella player in the building.
I can't help it. I can't help it. This is my blood. Okay, this is my
That's
blood.
real shit. That's what's up, though.
I'm a put by blood, not
Not
relation, huh?
relation. Nah, hey, look, I wish Imred was here because when we was growing up, Imred is
I know
another
I
one of
said
our hosts.
I hate that notion, but it is true. The Sagittarius like to play a
That's what
lot.
it is.
Yeah. If I'm in a relationship, I'm with you. I respect my man's feelings, and and I respect myself. And so if I'm with you, I'm with you. I can't speak for everybody.
I can't stand anyone that bores the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't stand boring. I don't do boring.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm never boring.
I'm
I can't
adventurous.
stand boring either.
That's how your
Are you
ass get
boring?
deleted. You talking about Ali?
I'm boring.
Nah, we the
Who's
life
boring?
of
Which one of y'all boring?
nah, we the life of the party.
No, we're not
That's what's
boring
up.
by any
Nah,
stretch of the imagination.
nah, we the life
That's
of the
what's up.
party.
Yeah, I
Fortunately,
like to have fun, but just not that fun that'll cost you or get you in jail. I ain't got time for that. So I
No,
do like to have
I do all
I don't
that.
have time for that we're too grown for that. What I'm talking about. That ignorant shit.
I ain't gonna lie.
Nah.
I mean,
You with the shits, Chew? Yeah. Be
that's
real with
why
you.
that's why I roll with Ali, because he gonna keep me not in some shit.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You
But I
got in
mean,
trouble when you was young buck? Yeah. I bet
So-
your mug shot look like this.
Nah, I actually have never been to prison. The only time I ever almost got locked up, this girl I was with, I don't know what she did, but I ended up not getting locked up.
Oh no.
So
Oh no.
yeah,
That's funny that you said the cops pulled me over this earlier today, but thank God they let me go.
yeah, a blessing. I'm glad you're here with us because that shit could have went left for real. So
I know, right? Hey,
yeah, real blessing.
looking out for your girl. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all got any other questions for me, man? I'm having so
One
much
thing
fun.
that we well, go ahead, shoot.
All right, so we asked all of our guests this question. When you hear the phrase "after 5," what do you think of?
Something freaky. I swear to y'all, when I
You
see
the
that after
gang,
5,
bro.
I was like, hold on, is this one? Because I told you, like, you got to watch where you go on. And then I had made the mistake of going on the podcast, and it was about what's that SMBDM, all that.
Yeah, BDSM.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
BDSM and all that.
Get your ass
but
tied
you
up in
gotta,
this motherfucker.
gotta warn somebody first. You can't just, spurge on somebody or keep it secret until they come on the show. And then you be in a furry outfit. Come on now. Oh man. So, but
Nah,
when I
that's
did
what's
see
up
it
though.
after 5, I'm thinking, after 5, it get real live. So, okay. Hey.
That's love.
You should. It's funny you should say that because you should have caught our Wednesday panel. It kind of got rough when we was talking
Yeah.
about
I told
after
you,
5, and maybe we should make it
I'm scared.
a dance club and everything.
Man, what did Fabo call
We
that
can
Somebody
shit,
had a
man?
pole in the background. I feel
Creepazoid.
like somebody had a pole in their background.
Creepazoid.
We were
Yeah.
talking about Creepazoid.
Yeah. So
That's what we were gonna name the spot.
Wednesdays we get wild. We
It should
say
y'all should call it Freak Nick Wednesdays. If you're gonna be like
shit.
that.
At some point, it's probably gonna end up like that.
we get a little loose and let our head down on Wednesdays, and we'll start off with topics, and they just kind of just.
Oh man, I
go
definitely
all
got to
over.
do that, but I'm a little scared.
Oh yeah, every Wednesday we gotta go live. Every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We are.
Definitely coming to see what y'all.
I mean, we got people that hit us up like, "Hey, I want to jump on tonight." Okay.
Okay, for sure.
It's a
They be
debate
going left,
topics,
though.
whatever.
I swear
we
it go
go
left
left
so
sometimes.
fast.
Yeah.
Oh
we
gosh.
take it left sometime. It's like, okay, this is going right, but we're gonna steer this left. This is all wrong.
Because Ali, I can already tell because you open and honest. You already got a wild side. I can tell. But Ali, Shoe, I feel like you got like a hidden card. Like once on Wednesdays, you're gonna be a completely different person. Like, who is this? This ain't the person I met from last time.
To be honest with you, it's because I
like
have to moderate. I'm a moderator. I really don't host, but since I'm here, with Ali, I try to make sure that I'm giving with him. But to be honest with you, I don't be saying nothing. I really just be watching. I'm the observer.
Observant. Yeah. I'm like that too, but sometimes I just gotta say, hold on. Whoa, Kimosabi. But yeah, that's what's up.
Y'all don't want me to do that though.
Rock out with no.
Nah, I'm extreme, so I tend to just not say shit because I'm hella extreme.
Oh, okay. You let Ali do your dirty work?
I mean, he extreme in a good way. I'm extreme to the point where I be like ready to piss motherfuckers off. So
Lord.
I don't say nothing.
Throw those?
Yeah.
You turn into a little noodle and throw those?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I have to be with Ali because he gonna keep me out of shit, man. It give me something to be positive about. What's up?
And that's funny. I used to hang with our other cousin, Sirskip.
Yeah, Sirskip. And Sirskip be on that shit. That's what I'm saying.
Good. I'm so proud of y'all. Let me just say this for y'all black men. I will say this and just put that out for all men out there doing their things. And just to give y'all flowers, man, and just reminded y'all are kings and y'all wearing crowns in y'all head. Y'all rocking that shit on so well. So keep doing that and keep doing y'all thing and elevating, man. I'm happy that I met y'all with this opportunity to come on and rock out with y'all. I'm looking back. So, just give me y'all flowers and let you keep doing your thing. Good things coming for y'all.
We appreciate that. And what you said is What's the term I'm looking for, Shoe?
Gotcha. See.
Prophecy.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
You speaking
That,
prophecy
that
over
was
us?
prophetic what you just said, and we received it. Matter of fact, we were having this conversation earlier today, and so it's just ironic that you would
Yeah.
say that. Everybody been wanting to
Mhm.
give us flowers all of a sudden, so it's like
Fight like
you,
you deserve it.
We
Somebody give it
yeah.
to you.
Nah, but it's
Again,
likewise, God
Satan
is
is
for real.
lost. You got to
likewise,
remind yourself
like that.
that you came from the line of kings and queens. You got blood in your veins. That's royalty. And so just keep that mindset. Shit, I'm even though you may not feel it or think it, or your bank account may not reflect it. I feel on myself, I'm royalty. I don't give a fuck if I'm not the baddest bitch. Not I'm not a bad bitch. I'm a queen first of all. And so
Mm,
for me, how I view myself as royalty, even if
I
my
heard
bank
that
account
shit.
goes short,
exactly,
my
I
clothes
appreciate
goes
that.
short,
Yeah,
you
that's real
know,
No,
shit.
I know it's
I,
getting late in this thing. We definitely appreciate you for coming on here, Difference. You
no,
welcome anytime. Just let us know. We
Yeah.
coming
appreciate
back.
you.
Probably not next weekend, Wednesday, but
Whenever
weekend
we
with
definitely look forward to having you
Yeah.
back.
Even if we
and
gotta do another interview.
for sure,
Yeah,
for
it's there.
sure. Yeah. You guys can check out my website, differenceworld.net, and get my book, What If a Controversial Paradigm Shift, and all my other social media handles. And again, thank you for everybody out there listening and hearing my story and hopefully drawing inspiration from it. And just remember, whatever it is in life that you're feeling you're destined for, you have to manifest, plan, and prepare for it. And it will surely come to you guys. Difference World, come and learn.
Y'all already know www.aliafterfire.com if you want any of the shirts or the check our website out. You can see all our episodes on the website, broken down even in category. The MD Red Brand, if you like the shoes, whatever, you can catch that on the website. Of course, we got the coaching for y'all. We want to steer the culture right. So we always coaching you up. Got the book coming. Check out Difference website and all her platforms. And everything that she has, we'll have the link down in the comments and throughout the story. So until next time, this was a fun edition of After Five. We'll catch y'all on Wednesday.
Peace. Peace, peace. Love and hair grease.